Hello, everybody, and welcome to Into the Splinterverse. I see we got our buddy Vozana, who's one of our best viewers. We also have Jackson in the house, who's throwing out an emoji. I'll bring that up, and I'll bring out the good evening
Hello,
gentleman message as
everybody,
well.
and
And welcome to Into the Splinterverse. I see we got our buddy Vozana, who's one of our best viewers. Oops. And I might have got a little bit of echo there to you guys. I'm so sorry. I forgot to close out the stream after I shared it. Not super professional. Obviously, this week, we haven't had the town hall yet. We have some proposals that we can talk about that are in the system. We have my Splinterlands TV rant about the bots that did the win trading. And we have land surfing. So I'll go ahead and let Baby Omega say hello and see where he wants to start the discussion tonight.
Hi guys, and thank you for being around. Hello, Mr. Voazena, and hello to you too, Jackson Maxon. And I I like all the topics that you mentioned. I'm most excited of everything about land surfing, but I don't really have preference in what particular order we get things. Probably my only idea is probably leave bots for last because I know when we start talking about bots, usually you'll be deprived of getting to see your guests. So maybe we should end with them.
I think we could do that one quick. Do you support bots being able to trade wins?
Of course not. I mean, there's
Okay, we're
nobody.
on the same page. That needs to end. Now we don't need to talk about it anymore.
Oh, but there is a lot to talk about it. That's why I'm just like, we'll start and then we get passionate about it. And yeah, I do understand that when we're on the same page, it won't be like a fight or any, like it won't be an argument, but it's still a lot to dive in. And but it's up to you, man. I'm good with whatever order you want to bring things up. They're all interesting, so I'll be actively participating.
Yeah, I hopefully I agree with that. Oh, did my little chat tool break? I'm just checking. I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing a delay in the stream is probably all that's happening when I look at the live stream. So I'll stop doing that. But the main thing I'd say, we could start with the fun topic first, and that's land surfing. Now, I only found out about what land surfing was when Aftersound did his quick video earlier today. And basically, what it seemed to me is it's going to make more land get used. It's going to distribute the rewards a lot more than I thought. And it might make a fun game for some people out there. A little bit of a worry, obviously. Now they've got something for the bots to do in land that they didn't really have before. So this is kind of interesting.
I, on my side, I've watched the whole People's Guild interview with Hardpoint and his in-depth thoughts about land surfing, and I cannot be more excited. And obviously, you were making fun of me and Tails last time, but obviously that thing that works perfect for me because whatever I don't have funds to jumpstart, it won't be just laying around unutilized. Hopefully, people will jump on it, and they not only will be giving me 50% of whatever they earn, but they also will be paying tax to my keep as well. So I'm pretty excited. I'm even considering maybe once this is out to try to negotiate deal with people, like getting them some cash back if they're working my land, because I mean I see it as a win-win in like in everywhere I look at it. For me, it's a win-win, and you don't need to worry about your plots because nobody can move you from your plots. But whenever you're not using, it can still give you some passive income, and you know that I'm sucker for passive income.
Yeah, I and you know what? It is kind of funny. I was kind of wondering what would happen. I was stressing out on if I should transfer a lot of funds to get more DEC. But before we go too much further, let's just explain. I'm going to explain how I understand land surfing for those that don't know about it yet. So, basically, when land goes live, we're going to be able to put nothing on our land, and then someone else can come into our land, and then they're able to stake their monsters and their DEC there to go ahead and start production. If they do that, they earn 50% of the rewards, and the owner of the land earns the other 50%. That's how I understand it. Now, one of the interesting things that were added onto that is if you're doing that to my land and then Baby Omega wants to come over and kick you off, he just has to have one more production point than you. He can stake his monsters and his DEC to that same land plot, and he can send you packing. And now I get a better tenant that's earning a higher reward for me. And in the background, as a landowner, I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting there and someone else is working the land. I'm earning some rewards. Also, on the flip side, it kind of stops people from throttling production. And this was something I kind of worried about a little bit. If one person has 2 or 3 regions and they decide not to deploy all of them, then that could seriously hurt one of the areas, and it could put them way behind. And at the same time, it might allow them to just in general, it could just make it so things could be kind of unbalanced really bad throughout the game. When it came to like the competitions where they're going to be competing for the most research and stuff. And now it should all even out pretty well as long as there's enough players who are willing to, earn some passive income and stake some monsters on all of the land that wasn't going to get utilized in the beginning. And for me, like I'll finish really quick, then go back to you. I was stressing out over needing to buy a lot more DEC. Well, now I can just use what I have, stake my best monsters onto my best lands, and then see if somebody else will come and work my land for a little while until I can build up more DEC. And instead of putting level 4 or 5 monsters on there, like I was gonna do, that I own myself, I could let somebody else put max level monsters that are almost twice as much. So my earnings would be almost the same, I think. And then I can save some money and still get passive income. It's kind of an interesting thing.
Well, welcome to the club. I mean, initially, if you remember when I was sharing, I was thinking like whichever plots I like my best plots, I'll get whatever best monsters I can combine, and then wait for the moment where we can delegate land. So I delegate land to some of my guildies, some of the people with Splinterlands TV, whatnot. And that was my plan. But guess what? Now I don't have to do that at all. I mean, all I have to do is clear my plots, because I think if you clear your plot, you have a better chance of somebody actually wanting to squat there. Because if you don't, they have to clear it. So they have to invest time and resources to clear your plot. And then by the time they finish, somebody can just come and just kick them out. So I'm thinking if I offer them cleared plots, it's a better chance that somebody will actually. I think the first plots that will go will be the one that are already cleared. And I don't know
Yeah,
how much the demand will be, if there will be enough people that want like majority of the plots. But I'm thinking that clear plots will clearly have an advantage in the beginning.
and also we'll cleared plots with buildings in a box. Like I did all 200 of my lands with building in a box,
Yeah, like
specifically to make sure that I could kind of rush clear them and then immediately have that first building. And so
yeah.
now, if I just do a clearing team who's clearing some of the lands, once I get
You
maybe,
don't need team, man. You have crystals for that.
well, I don't know, I didn't get that many crystals because I only chose to get crystals on half
Oh,
of my
okay.
lands. So I didn't go heavy on time crystals because I just, people call me a whale because I have a big collection, but I don't put a lot of money into the game anymore. And so I didn't think I would buy more, and I didn't think you'd have enough. Like, I thought it was going to be a taste and not enough. I don't know. I could be wrong on that, which means I still, like, I plan on using my time crystals to clear my legendaries and epics quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And then just the commons, I'll just have a decent team that goes and clears those, like decent PP, something relatively strong, and I'll move them around, and maybe I'll be able to put together like 2 to 3 clearing teams. But for me, I'm not going to try to sprint this because I know I'm not going to put enough extra funds into this to compete with the guys who are willing to bring in thousands of dollars, because
So
that's just not who I am.
we're no longer your favorite suckers with tails.
Well, no, because they introduced something new. And
Yeah.
you know what? I'm a little bummed because I thought I was going to be able to go all 200 lands with something on it, and most people wouldn't, and I'd be one of the top producers. But that won't happen now because every land should get utilized in some way or another that people are willing to survey. But you are right. I don't know if people would stake their monsters to clear a plot. Um,
Well, unless they
because,
max, I
well,
don't see it happening because I mean they know they run the risk of being kicked by the time they finish, and you know that once the monsters are
but
taken out of land, they have like 3 days cooldown,
yeah.
which also goes for your clearing teams. They'll have 3 days in between them that they need to be on cooldown before you can deploy them to the next land. And
And
yeah,
Jackson is
I
letting
agree with
us.
his point that it's only for common, but we are mostly talking about commons anyways because the rest we're going to work ourselves, and you don't have to be clearing 100% of your land on the get-go. But in my case, since I bought crystals for like almost all my plots, I can clear quite a bit of the common as well. Start with them, and then gradually, maybe time crystals will be cheap, so maybe there'll be a way for me from the passive income that I'm getting from the cleared already plots. I can buy some time crystals and clear the other plots if I don't want to invest the DC for staking in the cards or I don't have them. But yeah, it gives you an option and it gives you a way to get. I mean, it gives me a way to execute my plan without even having to worry when or if they're going to implement the ability to delegate land.
Yeah, and it's really good because I think that them working this out, and it sounds like this will be there during the launch of it or very soon after.
Very soon
But it
after,
sounds
yeah.
like but then it means they don't have to work out land delegation, and I kind of like that better because as an owner, it lets me just keep everything on my own account, and then I can just see the people who are working my land. And if I'm not getting good people to work my land, I can actually, as somebody with a YouTube channel and a bit of a presence, ask people to come and work my land and help me out. I might be able to entice some other people with who didn't get land but have okay collections to come and work on my land. If I can't, then oh well, I'll get who I get, and then I have a goal that I'm not going to kick them off that land until I have more PP to put there than them, and I have the DEC to do it. So
But
the one thing,
you can do if you don't like somebody working on your land, you can kick him, right?
well, yeah, I know, but I would only kick them off if I could beat their production. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I don't see a good. I mean, I guess if I can match it, then I get 100% of the rewards. So if I can match their production, then I probably would think about kicking them off. But the thing is, like right now, I only have about 3.5 million DEC, and to stake all 200 lands, I need like 7 million with the level monsters I would have. With all max level monsters, I'd need 10 million. Um,
But I didn't even mean to match their production. Just let's say somebody you don't like being on your
oh
land.
yeah, yeah. So if I
You
don't,
can just put one BCX card, kick him out, and then remove the card, and the plot is open again for business.
yeah, I don't
Somebody.
know. Like maybe if I saw somebody who was a blatant bot farmer on my land, I could try to blacklist him from my land if I really wanted to. But at the same time, what's that going to accomplish unless all landowners decide to try to do that? Um, but it would be almost impossible to stop the way that this is designed. So I just wanted to give a
Yeah,
quick
but
shout out to Carlos, and then go ahead.
yeah. Hi, Carlos. But yeah, I'm really excited about. Like, I when I heard the podcast because somebody mentioned it in math, and they said land alpha, and that's all I needed. So I jumped straight on it, and yeah, I was excited hearing Hardpoint talking about it. And I think again, it's a brilliant move. I think on their side.
Yeah, I think it is too. I like it a lot. Did you see the other thing that Gold Matters tweeted out today about the change to the land white paper when it came to keeps and castles and magical and occupied lands when it came
No,
to
I've missed that.
fragment. So basically, what they're doing is they're taking away the fragment bonuses away from magical land and from occupied land and moving that bonus only to the keeps and castles. So the only real plots that are going to have a big bonus at getting earning you fragments seems to be the keeps and castles. So it's a buff to keeps and castles. It's a debuff to magical and occupied.
What fragments you talking about?
For the totems,
Research?
totems, the totem
Oh,
fragments. So you were gonna like you can get a totem fragment anywhere, but occupied and magical land had a bonus to getting them. So you had a better chance
oh,
of
I
getting
did.
them.
Is that for 1.5?
Yeah.
We
So
get
you can
fragments of totems? I didn't even know that.
yeah, so the rest of the totems that are going to be found in the game, which is apparently 50% more. So
Hmm.
they airdropped half of them to us, the people who bought
Yeah,
land.
I
And then the
remember.
other half we're going to mine out of the land. So you're going to mine so many fragments and then be able to put them together into a totem. Um,
Yeah, I just thought it's
before
coming with 2.0.
I have to double check that, but when it comes, they did do a change where no longer does magical or occupied get a bonus towards finding the fragments. They'll be the same percentage chance as common and rare
Yeah, it
and regular
sounds a bit
rare and
weird
stuff.
because I don't remember like what I remember being mentioned in the one white paper 1.5 was we're going to get clearing, then mining for SPS, for research, or for grain, and that was about it. And if it's actually something that is 2.0, I don't think the 2.0 white paper is still out. So that's why it's a bit confusing of
Yeah,
me.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not a 2.0 thing.
Oh, okay. Then I guess I just
Because
re
the only
reread.
reason that we would know that was possible is if it was in the 1.5 land paper. Did Gold Matters get his account suspended? I was going to bring the tweet up to show you, but I just tried to search Gold Matters and it said the account was suspended. Let me see.
Oh, he's hacked too. Well, I told you that I got my Twitter hacked. I made a new one, but
Yeah, no, never mind. It's not. So
oh, okay.
here he is. Um, he's talking about the Bulldog
Yeah,
stuff,
I saw. I saw a
but
glimpse of it.
let's see. There's official new SPS DAO. He promotes a lot of stuff about Splinterlands. Here. So, oops. Well, our pictures is over it now. So let's just make us smaller for a moment here. So June 15th. So this was just changed in June, and so no, I didn't catch this. It was just changed in the white paper. He was reviewing the white paper, and he
Uh-huh.
noticed they edited this part. It said they've added the max base
Yeah,
production
that was
limit per
the
land
goal.
plot.
Yeah,
Production points page is recent has been discovered. But see, so this was we knew about this, right?
yeah,
But this line we didn't know about, and they snuck it in. So remove the
yeah.
bonus to finding totem fragments for Rooney workers as well as magical and occupied plots, and replace them with bonuses to finding fragments and bonuses to fragment rarities for castles and keeps. And then the totem fragment page in the white paper has more info. So
I
that's
guess
just
have to
another
read.
yeah, that's another little thing that came out just recently on the land side of things, and I thought that was kind of interesting because I told him I like this, but I could understand how some people might take this kind of bad if you went out and spent extra on magical and occupied, expecting to not only be able to get like if you were buying really a lot of occupied and you thought you're going to be farming lots of SPS and fragments from totems. Well, now you can't get that extra bonus towards fragments on those anymore. You could still find them, but you're not going to get that bonus percentage. And Roonies aren't going to get them either. So you can't just put a Rooney anywhere anymore and get a fragment bonus. So they nerfed Roonies and they nerfed magical plots and they nerfed occupied plots in
Oh, I
their
have a thought
return
on that,
within the
but
game.
I have a thought on that, but it won't be popular one.
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, they've always said that everything they put out is subject to change. So people, until something goes live, people should not make financial decisions based on that. So I do understand that some people might be unhappy, but that's on them. I mean, see, when you're trying to front run something, you take your chances, risking that it might be a wrong move, and that's how I see it.
All right, before we get into anything else, I just want to thank all the viewers who go and check us out on Hive. They do support our posts. We are trending up, see, 354,
Yeah,
366,
I was noticing, I
1131.
was sharing that
And
with Vozena just
yeah,
an hour before the show.
and then this big one here, even though we're sharing it three ways with Mango Mayhem, yourself, and myself, it'll still be our biggest payout, and that's because we did have a whale that knows Mango Mayhem come in and support the post. So that was pretty cool. I do owe some people some SPS, so we're gonna do that really quick.
I was
We're gonna
going,
go over
while you do
here.
that, I'm going to ask you a question. Did you put it in your social media challenge?
Um, I didn't do one this last week, so I kind of goofed there. I suppose I could have, but
No,
he
because we
did.
had the
He
vote, because we do have
yeah.
the vote from the team. That's why I was wondering if you did do it as on your social media challenge.
No, that was just by Mango Mayhem talking to him. So we got Jewel here. He's a member who hangs out a lot on
A
Splinterlands
cheerleader.
TV.
Yes.
Yeah, Jewel Leader. So we'll go ahead and transfer. Sorry, with the picture on the screen, guys, this can be a little more complicated, and I don't want to rush myself because that's how I combined all my cards last time.
Congratulations, Jay cheerleader, even though you're not here.
Yes, and then we are going to do one more spin. This is from the episode with Mango Mayhem.
Oh,
I
nice.
didn't say I was going to give away 100, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyways.
Oh, you're so nice.
So we'll
This
see.
way you say, I know,
Is
huh?
After Sound going to win or is
Oh my
Sadie going to
God.
win?
No, reroll. I mean, after some. Come on, reroll.
No,
He's
After
going
Sound
to
isn't.
spend it on ice cream, man. Don't give him that.
Dude, he's not that big of an account, and you know what? He's come through on both of our Hive posts and made real comments and said thank you for us doing the show. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
but I'm
send him a
just
little
joking.
thing.
I just know that he's going to spend them on ice cream.
Yeah, and it was I don't know how to pronounce his name, Christian. Azircon, is that how he's pronouncing
Azercon,
it?
yeah, I saw
Yeah,
here in
he did it,
Splinterverse
but
team.
I didn't share it in the social, so I don't know if I could have also done a social post, or if he like did a manual curation thing.
Oh,
I
I'm
don't
thinking
know.
probably
So
because Azercon is very close with Mango, but what I'm saying is the team voting that usually comes from doing social media challenge. So that's why I was not sure if you did it or
yeah,
not.
like some of the OGs, I know Clove can manually give people votes, and she's done that for me a couple times. This is the first time I've got one from him. So we'll have to see if he keeps following up on the show or not. But that was still
Yeah,
pretty cool. So I
yeah.
just wanted to thank
When
them
I
for
saw it,
that.
it was cool. Yeah, I was happy, genuinely.
Okay, so it sounds like we're both mostly okay with we're both pretty excited for land surfing, even though it does take away
Yeah.
my schmucks that wouldn't be working land. But I'm happy with it because it brings land to the community.
You're happy
Everyone can
for
do
us,
it.
right? Also.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy for everyone because even you guys can get some production on your land, but now you're actually sharing it with people that didn't buy any land. It makes land more of a community thing.
Yeah, and Vozena
Um,
said only common plots will be uh, available for land serving, but yeah, it kind of makes sense. But it's for free, so I mean, you're staking your DC, but the DC you're staking, you're just taking it. You're not spending it, and the cars that you have them anyways. So if they're extra, you're basically spending zero and you're earning something. So even if it's just a common plot, who cares? I mean, anyways, the difference between realities is not that big to start with. So I'm just thinking that will be okay. Having something for free, it's always good. It's
so
like
let's
winning,
go ahead and
like
move.
winning the cockroach on Splinterlands TV.
Yeah. So we can go ahead and move over here to Bulldog's proposal. It looks like it's going to fall just short. I don't know. It's now down even a little bit more to 64.39 according to Peak Monsters. So it needs to be at 66. It's only got 7 it's only got a few hours, 8 hours left. We could have a big whale, and I know Bulldog is over there live with Walking Keys right now, hurting our viewership live, but that's okay. And they're talking things up, so they'll have to see if they could get a vote to switch. I think they would need a big vote to switch. I'm going to go ahead and go back into here so we can kind of see some of those big votes. One of the
And you
and
can
just show
also
people
you can
when
reach
it.
out to Bulldog so he can jump straight away to here to our show after he's done with the keys.
Well, we're not going to be on for that long
I
tonight,
know,
so
I know.
otherwise I would consider it. But you can see right here we've got our buddy who gave us a big vote. He doesn't like this idea, and obviously everybody gets to vote their own stake. After the show, I could maybe see if I could convince Michael to change his mind, but he's in my guild. But I don't know that he would listen to me. He's actually one of the leaders of our guild, so he obviously is a big vote down. You've
See,
also,
I think
you
the
know,
biggest problem is Vuktis is against it, so
yeah, but just any like a vote here, if it switched the other way, it would almost cancel this vote out because it would take away 4 million down and give it 4 million up.
yeah, yeah,
So that would be a big enough vote to change it, in my opinion. Any of these votes up here, any of these 4 millions could change this
yeah.
vote the other way.
And actually,
Obviously,
as it
he could too, but
actually as their con goes in package with level up life, so
oh,
it's
where's
even
level
more.
up life?
It's even
Is
more than
he?
it shows.
He's down here somewhere. I know. I voted yes. Oh, and you got looks like the Bizen Kitty counts
Oh,
are against
he's
it.
against everything that brings DC to pay, it seems.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't
It's
know
kind of
neither.
interesting. And then I don't know, but it's nice. The only reason I'm showing the votes, guys, is just for anybody who doesn't know that much about Splinterlands. It does have a DAO structure. It's weighted voting, so it is very much an I always forget the word, but like it's not a democracy. It's an autocracy. Right?
But,
Is that the word? Because the rich get all the power.
well,
I'm probably saying that slightly wrong. But the I have a vote, but my vote is somewhere down here, and then other people's votes are even further down. Mine's right
like
around
mine is
here
even further
somewhere.
down.
I'm in the fourth. I thought I was in the 430s. Should be. Oh, there I am. Right there, 434. I could be kind of crazy and like pull my SPS stake out of the liquidity pool and power it up and then power up this
Would it
vote.
be enough?
But I've only got about 100,000 I could bring,
Yeah. So,
and
but
100,000 isn't enough.
yeah.
So I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, Bozana, I'll admit, I think Bulldog was being a little bit spicy on Twitter. I don't know if he's being spicy on that video right now because I'm not watching. Because his comments of like, if this doesn't pass, I'm gonna
He's
leave,
cheating.
and I think that's kind of changed to if some version of this doesn't pass, I'm gonna leave, opening the door up for somebody else to re-propose it. But I don't know if he's
Remember?
willing to do the re-proposal or not. I haven't heard. Did you? You were watching that a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
I watched the video today, but no, because just because Vozena shared with me how frustrated he is with his attitude and whatnot. So I was watching so I was watching the video just so we can just so we can talk about him. I told him the same thing. Like, do you remember two shows ago, I think, when we were talking about bots? And I told you that, well, I'm sure they'll put some effort, but it will be like, okay, like we tried, it didn't work. Remember what you told me then?
yeah, I told you that if they fake this, I'd be done with the game.
Yeah. So it's emotional reaction, man. It's not. I don't think he'll be leaving either way. I think it's just an emotional reaction. Yes, it's not good to post under emotion, but we all do it nevertheless. And to be honest, he's in the video. He's just explaining why he thinks the way he thinks, and he's explaining his reason why would he be leaving if he is. It's because he loses um, confidence that the DAO can work towards the benefit of the game in his point of view. And I'm not saying he is right with his point of view. I'm just saying that he has principle. He doesn't trust something that he don't see going in the same direction that he thinks should be going. So, I mean, for me, it's all the same. I did vote for it. I think it's a good thing. I think his uh, counter argument that to the people that are saying we should diversify is like what you need to diversify for, because I mean, if we don't achieve the flywheel with DC, if DC fails, well, the game is dying anyway. So what does it matter if the DAO is holding stable coins in other projects? Like, the whole point is to try to make this work, because that's what will actually give life to the game, and that's what we see as the bright future ahead of the game. But again, I do understand people have their own opinion, and I usually, I think we're both on the same page, because we both, like, it's weird, second thing we agree on, but we're both feeling the same way, that it's a good proposal. But then again, we can only share our opinion, and people will disagree, and we just need to agree to disagree at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think people underestimate what the flywheel can do. And this is why I voted yes. Overall, I did give him a counterproductive thing on Twitter, and he actually responded well to it. I commented on his thing that the reason why you might want to hold stable coins is that what if the DAO wanted to hire people to do something? Like if we wanted to hire a graphic artist to make a set of skins, or we wanted to hire somebody to make an animated short as a test, so anything like that, we could do that with those stable coins. Anything we wanted to have the DAO hire anyone, including maybe once the game is ready to be marketable, the DAO could vote to go ahead and hire one of the bigger, game YouTubers out there or something.
Influencers, yeah.
Yeah, an influencer. They're gonna, if you give them DEC, they're just gonna dump it, so it's not as good of a payment. And so it makes sense to have some stable coins for things that you might want the DAO to buy, services that you might want them to hire for. But because I understand the flywheel, I voted yes for this still, because I've seen what the flywheel did to Terra Luna. I've seen what the flywheel did to a project I was on Polygon called Titan Finance. Once it starts going, if it starts going,
It's going.
it doesn't stop. It gets wild. And the difference between this flywheel to either one of those flywheels that broke, both of those flywheels had a way in and a way out. And the problem with both of those is they broke when they tried to go the other way, because one of them got hacked over on Polygon. Basically, they found out an exploit to be able to cheat the system on the removing of it, because it did its batches in 15 minutes. So you could get a lot more money than you were supposed to if you did it all at once, and they caught on to that. They could pump the price and remove a lot in this. And then with Luna, the same thing kind of happened. It has a reverse death cycle, but this one doesn't have a reverse death cycle, because you can't unburn the SPS. It's not possible. So it's once it's burned. There's no way to go the other way. And the amazing thing about this proposal to me is that it helped push us up near peg before land is here, because nobody has enough DEC. You hear everybody talking out there. I mean, I'm even talking about, I heard like After Sound in Darkest Night on a video just a couple days ago say they don't have enough DEC yet, and After Sound has 3 plots, and he doesn't have enough DEC. That's only like 90,000 DEC, and he just like, I just haven't picked it up yet, because I don't need to. So and Darkest Night, he has maybe like 50 or 60 plots, and he said no, he's still just buying other things, plots in land. He'll pick up his DEC later. You don't have yours.
I don't have my DEC. No,
I don't have mine. Gank doesn't have enough for all of his land. The point is, there's a lot of people out here that eventually, like, if we get into land, like if I get into land a little bit and I'm making a little bit of return, all of a sudden I'm going to go, whoa, I'm making good money here. What if I'm getting like a 50, 60, 70% APR? What if I'm getting like 130% APR on my investment? Then all of a sudden, I'm going to find a way to come in and buy $4,000 worth of DEC, because I need it. I'm just going to, because I can make a huge return on it, right? And there's going to be other people that can do that, because I have money. I'm just not putting it into the ecosystem, because the ecosystem's going down And so I'm not willing to dump bags into it until I start to see things turn around. But if land is good, and this proposal has already pushed us up to, it pushes you to 95%. That's what his proposal does, right? The Dow will buy anytime we are below 95% until we are at 95% of peg, always leaving us within 5%. The basic idea is that when a whale like me needs to come and buy $4,000 worth, or somebody even more whaling than me, a true whale needs $10,000 worth or $20,000 worth, they're going to have to go over peg. And the bots are going to get to arbitrage, and we're going to see a few $100s of SPS burned each time this happens, because the Dow will always make sure that we're right there on the cusp. It's a great idea. The obvious problem is, how long can the Dow do that? Do they run out of money and then they can't do it anymore, because it'll be a psychological break to ever see us below 95% again, because people will realize the Dow ran out of money. And if the Dow ran out of money, it's similar to when Terra Luna ran out of money protecting their peg, and people freaked out and just dumped the token. So all of a sudden you could have big DEC holders freak out and dump the token. Now, it's not the same thing, because DEC is theoretically, getting lower and lower in supply. It's not like people should have big bags of it liquid anymore once land is out. I'm not as worried about it happening, but that's the scary part of it to me, if anything.
I just think it's a little bit like, I don't know where the being off comes, but I don't think that's exactly what is proposed. Like, I think that there is a certain amount of money in the DAO that are in stable coins, and what is offered is that amount of money to be turned into DEC, and
Oh yeah,
that
but he
won't.
but he said he would only buy up to 95%. So they would
Yeah,
buy and
but I
get us
don't
to
think the money.
95, and then it would go down, and they would go over time. So it would take time to buy $500,000 worth.
I don't think they have the. I don't think the DAO has the funds to even get it to 95%.
You
I
think it would
thought
take more than $500,000 to get us to 95%?
I would think so. There is still
Hmm.
like at least almost 2 billion liquid.
Yeah, but that's 25% of the supply. It would be able to soak up more than 25% because we're under peg
Well,
at
it's like, because
500,000.
because I was discussing this with Vozena too, and he said like it was like 400,000 of $400,000 in in stable coins, and that's like 400 million TC. So it's almost like, or let's say five, because it's not exactly $1 for 1,000 TC, but like almost like what the burn did, like half a billion. But there still be
Yeah,
some
but
like,
that's different though. That came out of our wallets. That didn't come out of the dexes. Right? That was stuff people were holding, and it was a little bit less because like
or buying. You
160,000 was
don't know that. I mean,
DECB.
some people might have bought DC to burn, but regardless, it was a liquid DC. It was not it was not invented from somewhere. So it was taken from the liquid supply, half a billion, and this will do probably another half a billion. But my point is that just one of the things, because all the things that you mentioned, you didn't even mention that now we'll be able to buy Rift Watchers with DEC as well.
Because that's not a big deal, because it's not at
Is it?
this
Isn't it
discount.
though?
No, at this discount though, you're still underwater on the packs, on the expected value, because you're only getting a 20% discount, so you're only getting a pack for $4, and I think the
But you're
expected
getting,
value of the pack is still only like 380.
airdrop points.
Okay, but I mean, has it been moving Rift Watcher packs? I went and checked today. I didn't seem like it was moving them.
Oh, it's already in.
Didn't it come out with the last? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's not.
I don't think it's still in. So maybe that's one of the reasons you don't see much moving there. But I'm thinking that it will have some effect. Like I know I for sure will try to find a way to get some money into the ecosystem so I can buy some more uh Rift Watcher packs from the team because I want to get to a point where I have enough airdrop points at least to get gold versions of the cards, like gold level versions of the cards. So I don't think I'll be the only one, and it's just probably psychologically it's different when you're buying it with DC, for me at least. So I think it won't be nothing. If it's nothing, it's nothing. It's okay. I'll just admit that I'm wrong and we can move on. But I think that will have also some effect on the whole DC liquidity.
I mean, what it does is it protects DEC from dropping too low, because when DEC starts to drop low enough while packs are on sale, there's an arbitrage opportunity there. But the arbitrage opportunity isn't until it gets down to like 70 cents on the dollar, and we're at like 82 cents right now. And so at that high of a mark, um, there's not enough profit there to do like a big buy, open the packs and flip the cards. Now when land comes out, that could change. If Rift Watcher cards go up in value, because a lot of people are just, there's just not that many cards for sale anymore because people are buying them up to put onto land, especially with land surfing, then there's a possibility that the expected value, if the expected value from a Rift Watcher pack needs to get to like probably about 420, 425 with where DEC is now, because people aren't going to do this for like a 5% profit because there's some risk. You need to see like 25% profit there, because then you go, okay, now I know even if I don't get that lucky, I should make my money back, and if I get lucky, I'll kill it and I'll make a ton of money.
Do you still
Um,
put into consideration airdrop points? Because those
mm,
used to mean something before.
but airdrop points matter to some people. I don't think it matters as much though, right at this point, um, because I mean, for it to like move big numbers. I'm talking big numbers, like people coming in buying 2, 3, 4,000, 5,000 packs at a time because they can make a 30% profit on that purchase by quickly opening and selling if the market is frothy. Those kind, like, can somebody decide, like, hey, I've been wanting to buy some Rift Watcher packs to get me one more airdrop card. Now I can buy them with DEC, so I'll go ahead and do it because I can get a 20% discount.
I know one
Sure.
that like this.
Yeah, yes, that it can do, but that person's buying maybe 50 packs to 100 packs, somewhere in there, to get them to one more airdrop card. That's not massive volume. Um,
Well, if
it'll
it's what if
help. It'll
it's
help though.
20 people, what if it's like 500 people? Like that's what I'm saying is just at the moment they're not moving.
Okay,
And
so
it's for a reason.
33. I'm
But
trying to
the
do some
cards are
quick math to figure out what Bulldog's thing could theoretically do. So this is 33 cents for a hive, right? And so right here is 600,000 DEC. And now we're at 2 million if he bought up through here. No, wait, hold on. How many zeros is this? This one is 8. Oh, okay. So actually, this is. Maybe you're right. That's. Wait, how much would 500,000 be? 500 million. It's about
yeah,
600 million DEC, right?
yeah. Just
So
about the
this
same as the
is.
burn.
Oops, it just changed.
Somebody's trolling you.
Somebody bought some, actually. That's what happened, I think. Or no, somebody sold some. A
Some
decent.
bought,
Well,
some sold.
yeah, some bought, some sold. But, okay, so if you go through the depth, so right up here, we're at 18 million. See, I mean, like, this is 20 million DEC. I mean, it. I mean, and then up here, this is just ridiculous. These people are asking like
Yeah,
300
change it to daily.
hive.
Change it to daily.
No, but this is just the depth instead of candlesticks. This is just showing you the market depth.
Yeah, but I'm thinking if it's daily, probably to show
This
zoomed
isn't
in.
a this isn't a chart. This is just
I
showing you,
know
like,
the buy
if
orders
you
and the
came
sell
in right
orders.
now, if you
Yeah,
came in right now and you bought to here, it would be 6 million DEC, and that would move us up to 0.0027 hive per DEC, which gets, that's where it gets kind of complicated. What price is that? 0.0027. That would move us up a little bit, but that's only literally 6 million DEC, and the Dow can buy between 500 and 600 million depending on peg at time of buying. So he could just come in here and just scoop all of this up and push us to here. And
yeah.
then some of these people might lower their prices. I mean, if they do it smart, come in and just push us up, push us up. And like this whole thing, like all the DEC that's for sale on tribal decks, with some of it at absurd prices, is only 22 million. There's only 22 million DEC on all of this market, and they have enough money to buy 500 million.
Yeah.
So they could just buy all of this. That's under
So where
peg.
is the rest is in liquidity pools?
The rest is in there's some of it that's in the pool, right? But I mean, the market order is super thin. There's hardly anything in there. So that can be bought up immediately with that money. And then there's the liquidity pool on ETH. There's the liquidity pool on BSC. Those have a few 100,000. Those will, of course, there's arbitrage bots that'll bring those into this market as they pump the market on Hive so that they don't have to go to there. Then again, since they have BUSD, they could do it the other way and buy up on Binance and have it moved over here. But I don't care what you say, somebody coming in to buy up over 25% of the liquid supply, a whale that big coming to buy that much, is going to move the market dramatically,
Oh, I
because
agree with you. I'm just
there
saying
just
it's,
isn't that much liquid.
I
Um,
just,
and Stock Jockey, I think this is the main thing people are voting no for. He's saying he's just happy with the way things are.
and I
And
was curious how you're going to argue with that.
yeah. And see, the thing is, I think a lot of people think he's doing this too soon. Land isn't out. Rift Watchers thing isn't out, as you just alluded to. Those things are supposed to chew up all this DEC. And so if those things are supposed to chew up all this DEC, why not, why do this? But my point to my counterpoint to everyone, and why I think they should change it, is because you're just not seeing what the flywheel can do. And if the Dow is putting us on the precipice, if they're pushing us up there by buying up this thing, and I think they will get us to 95%, then when the whales come to get their DEC to put stake land onto their monsters, stake land, when a regular buyer comes in, like, just, let's say some player comes in and he just realizes he wants to go put some monsters onto 3 land, and he needs to buy 15,000 DEC. I mean, if the market is really thin, that could move it, and things could go pretty risky. Stock Jockey says he's learned that in 6 decades of life, sometimes you
Yeah.
just need to sit and relax. I can understand that, but we've been sitting and relaxing for a long time.
And
And
now it's
the
not the time
one
for that.
and the great counter argument I heard from actually Keys, because I was watching not their live stream but a video they did yesterday on this, or today on my way home from work, was, if the game goes south, like if the flywheel doesn't work and the economy kind of dies, and it doesn't mean Splinterland dies, okay? Because even if this game is just being played by a few thousand people, Aggie and Matt might just keep it going like they did in the beginning. With the
Yeah.
staff would just disappear and things would be really slow. But if the game doesn't make it to that next level of the flywheel working, the economy really buzzing, the burning all happening, what does it matter if the Dow is sitting on 500,000 DEC as opposed to sitting on $500,000 in stable coins? I
That's what I
mean,
was saying.
because what are you guys gonna? What are we gonna do? We're gonna vote to say, hey, give everybody a pro rata share of stable coins as a payout from the Dow or something. Oh, I mean, then the big rich guys get one last payout instead of trying to help the whole community and help the game. I don't see any reason to hold on to that much money. Though I could see definitely doing a proposal that says maybe do this with 70% of the funds and keep 30% of the funds in a stable coin. I've also heard the argument that maybe they should put it into a different crypto than stable coins, but then you're at, like a Bitcoin or an Ethereum setup, but it's hard to say.
Yeah, and while I agree with Stock Jockey that sometimes you just need to sit and relax, now it's not the time. We can sit and relax once we get DC to pay and firewall is in effect. Then we can sit and relax and enjoy the SPS charts because I think they'll change a little bit. Like little by little, they'll change. There'll be a change in scenery, and
Yeah,
you don't know what that can lead to.
and the other thing is if we start burning SPS right as we get into SPS staking, you're creating a perfect storm for SPS really to run and get really valuable again. And by really valuable, I just mean something like 10, 15, or 20 cents. And
Yeah,
then that changes the whole dynamic of people playing this game to earn that coin. Um,
that's why I
and
said you don't
definitely,
even know what brings after that. New people
yeah.
also get excited when they see the charts and they come in and yeah, I mean, it is important. I agree with you.
Okay, so we talked about land surfing. We talked about Bulldog's proposal. So far, we're on the same page. Maybe we'll be different on this one. Let's go ahead and get into Matt's proposal. Now, I already did a rant on this, but I didn't publish the video, and he changed it. So I don't know if I'm going to publish that video
Okay, did
because
change
the
it? What's the
he
change?
added in this. Maybe you already know, but this was
Oh yeah,
new.
I mentioned that there was a proposal in Mav chat that he said he'll consider.
Yeah, so now they're saying that vouchers can pay for this. I'm still a no vote. I might release that other video and just put in there that even with this little update, I'm still a no vote because I still think these prices are too high if we're not able to sell the cards. That would turn me into a yes vote. I could understand that they wouldn't be that he wants to only unlock them to be used in land, but if I'm going to have to pay this much money, um it should still be sellable in my mind, knowing that the buyer could only stake it onto land, not use it in their account. My guess is that's too hard to do
Yeah,
because the card they
and
would own the card at that point, and I don't see how you could stop them from playing it instead of staking it on their land. Um, but
but
to me,
the thing is, if you're planning for any of your cards, if you're planning to sell it, it doesn't matter when you're going to pay for it, to be honest, because you have to pay sooner or later, and if you pay now, it will be just it will be just taken out of the final amount that you have to pay at the end anyways. So it's like opening them for sale, just not yet.
there's a caveat there.
What?
If it costs less than this to unlock the card to sell it, then you don't get a refund.
Do you
You
think it'll cost less?
I don't know, but he didn't say I'd get a refund. So if I unlock this card for 100,000, and when it comes time to sell it, they decide it only is going to cost 50,000 to unlock. Sure, it'll unlock for free, but I'll have overpaid, and I'll be pissed. Now, I hope they don't do that because then we'd all be pissed. Everyone who paid to unlock would be
But you
irate.
also would
But
have used
they didn't
the card on land
specifically
for
say that.
6 months.
They actually specifically said that. Yeah, but now I don't need to. I mean,
So
there's no way I'm
you
gonna.
maybe don't. Maybe you don't, but for some, I mean, maybe you have enough legendary gold cards, but some
No,
people
no,
don't.
no. I'll just let some random work my common plots. I have. I don't need these because I have alpha and beta cards that have way more PP than these, anyways.
Yeah, but that's you.
But,
You know, the
but,
whale.
so- but yeah.
Us
so
common people don't have that much.
So these cards only would have went on to my common plots anyways. Maybe some of the rares. I might not have enough great cards to cover all of my rares, but for my epics and legendaries, I do. So, but still, to me, this is just ludicrous. They're making you cost, what is close to like full price, in my opinion. $100 for a legendary card at Peg is pretty ridiculous. They're giving us a cookie by saying you can use vouchers. So I guess if this passes, at least with a decent SPS stake, it might bring some value back into vouchers, and then I can start selling vouchers to make a little bit of money again. I stopped selling them now that they're down at like 3 cents, and I'm just holding them. But the actually, I put them into the liquidity pool the other day. I sold half of what I had for Swap Hive. Terrible deal at 3 cents, but I did it just to be able to put them in the liquidity pool and start earning on them because I had a little bit over 1,000, so I did that. But I
But is
don't
it
know.
50% of the price, or you can pay everything with vouchers?
Only 50% of the price
Okay.
with vouchers and valued at 20 cents. So they're putting another voucher peg into the game. So vouchers are worth 20 cents in unlocking your cards for land. They're worth $3 on nightmare packs. They're
Yeah.
worth $5 on um, validators, and they're worth 3 cents in reality. So with this, would it push it up? Maybe. Maybe. I still haven't seen Matt back up his statement that has been brought to his attention that bots have tons of land and tons of monsters to go work the land.
We have town
Um,
hall coming, and we have town
yeah,
square after that.
we have the town hall this Thursday, and Matt's supposed to be there, so hopefully he'll back this up, and then maybe he'll change my mind. My point, Stock Jockey, is no one I know has these cards, extra copies to go put on land, and wants to move the really good, strong monsters that these are out onto land. Now, the one caveat here, maybe wild players don't use these cards as much because they're using the really powerful Untamed and really powerful beta cards and alphas and like all of that stuff, and so they don't need the new legendaries as bad. So they would go move them onto land, but then those accounts, they're like the big beefy accounts in the game. I don't it's This looks to me like it's meant to counter the modern bots, but I still say, you're telling me that that a player owns a pretty big bot farm, went ahead and made the investment to own a whole bunch of land, played the game for months to farm the cards. They're going to be at mediocre levels if they weren't at playing at the high level of the game. Because I mean, I know they're going to be at mediocre levels if you've been playing in silver and bronze this whole time. So if you have a silver and bronze level bot farm, even of a lot of accounts, you're going to have these low level cards that you can go and put into land. The only thing that backs up voting yes for this, and the reason why I think it's going to pass, is land surfing. Because now you finally gave me a reason why you don't want to let those bots put cards on land. But it would have been nice if he told us that that's why I think this is needed. Because that literally in my own mind, I just realized, well, maybe that's the reason why this has to pass.
But why you think what changes with the bots? Bots putting cards on land.
Well, because before the bots had to buy land to utilize the cards. Now they don't. They still have to
And
buy DEC to stake these cards onto my land, but they don't have to buy land. See, this was the key thing when didn't understand why it was a big issue, because I was like, what? You're talking about some bot owner who's running these really low level bots, but also, bought 1,000 land plots. That was great for us. He bought 1,000 land plots. Let the guy go work the land with these low level cards. He's staking DEC. He's staking DEC as power sources and monsters. And then those bot accounts can't bot because the cards can't do both at the same time, right? Unless he has other cards that he's running in his bot farm. I had no problem with it. But now those bot farms could just get some DEC and stake their cards into a common plot and earn a return, and then now you finally justified this a little bit to me.
but now I want them to be able to use their soulbound cards to work on my land. I'm just joking. But I also, based on our comment last week, I also voted no because, as I was telling you at that point when we were having the argument, I see that more of a a way of restricting players to use soulbound cards without restricting them, like as a gateway. And then you mentioned you just said, then why don't just put a vote whether we should be able to use them at all? So yeah, actually, I thought you were very right, and that's the only reason. Yeah, I don't think if it's going to be a gateway, I'd rather than put a proposal whether we should use soulbound and Goleta cards on land at all.
Yeah, and now that but now I at least understand the thinking here, because the only reason people would bring it to his attention, none of this made sense to me until land surfing was introduced and we actually talked through it. And I only learned about land surfing a few hours ago, guys, so I haven't thought about that this hard. And now all of a sudden, as much as this sucks, as much as these prices are ridiculous and it's going to prevent most players from being able to use cards, because like I'm mad because for myself, I decided to not sell my collection. I stayed with the game. I've watched my collection go down in value by about 25% in the last few months. I've watched everything I own in Splinterlands go down in value, but I earned a very cool set of cards, including a decent little number of gold legendary cards. And the cookie I was going to get, because I was a huge investor into this ecosystem, watching everything I own go down in value, was I was going to get to use the cards on my land to save myself a little bit of money, right? Because I'd be able to move some of these cards onto land. And mind you, it wasn't very many. Literally, I'd probably only be able to get workers on about 3 plots, because the
Yeah,
rest of the cards I have to keep on my account so it can stay in
yeah. I mean,
champion and stay
nobody's having
competitive.
that many soulbound cards.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like maybe I could have put 15 monsters on land, and that's only because I have a gold foil copy
Yeah,
and a
and
regular
regular. Yeah,
copy, so I can
that,
move some of the golds out to the land and just play with the regulars, because that's what I do. And I could maybe fill somewhere between 3 to 5 lands by doing that. And they're saying no, you can't do that now unless you pay us. Not, not unless you pay. And that's annoying, because it hurts the whole earning idea of these cards, and it's
yeah.
annoying.
Especially when people come with the argument like previous reward cards doesn't have any requirements for us to use them on land. We can use them. We earn them the same way, and we can still use them without having to pay anything. Why this we cannot?
Yeah, I don't understand the logic behind this, except for if land surfing is available and they're hoping to have all 150,000 lands now active or close to it, because if you can't work it, somebody will work it, then allowing bots to do it means that you can you can do something. And I underestimated the bots when when I was talking with Tails, and he pointed this out, called me out on Twitter on a post, but that's okay. I didn't think bots could do what they're doing, and we'll go ahead and go into this a little bit, and then we're going to end the
We
show here
are. Are
shortly.
you sure?
Yeah, we'll go into it a little bit, because I think we're on the same side here. People who are botting and trading wins should absolutely be breaking terms of service, and those
Yes.
accounts should absolutely, in my mind, be banned. You can go
Yes.
ahead and let them keep what they have because they got away with it for a little while. I don't even care, but they have to be shut down.
I agree. And I do agree it's a problem. And yeah, there is a lot to talk, but yeah, we don't really want to get into a discussion because you
Yeah,
already
because
are behind, and it will be a long one. I promise you.
yeah, the last thing I'll say is, like, I told Tails that I didn't think anybody could do what he was talking about, which was go ahead and set up some bots, get them to low level rewards cards only, and then
But to
play
be
the game
honest,
and win. But I
to,
didn't know that they could trade wins. I did.
he didn't neither. To be honest, when he was making his point, he didn't make this point, and the point he was making didn't make sense at the time. I said it as well. So now he's flipping things. I told you guys, no, actually he didn't. The thing that he told us is not happening because only soulbound cards are not sustainable to win you games. unless you go into win trading. But then you can go with literally six cards
Anything.
in your
Yeah,
in
you
your
can go with
deck.
anything. But but
So
I didn't
no, he
know
was
this
not
was
making the same
possible.
point. He was not making the same point. He flipped things around like, "Oh, guys, I told you so." But he's not right. He didn't tell us so. He wasn't. He even admitted that he didn't expect it to go this way. So I didn't like the way he just kind of like took credit for it because he told us it was not the same thing that he told us, and he was wrong when he told us. But he's right about the win trading, and I agree with you that that thing should stop SAP.
Yeah, that needs to be stopped. And yeah, I see what you're saying. And I know that those accounts can't beat you because I play my Gold Steve account down in bronze and silver. So I know what's going on down there. And I've run into the bots that only have soulbound rewards cards and I crush them every time because they can't make a real
Yeah,
team. They're
it's not enough.
yeah, it's very easy to beat them. But if they have found a way to 99% of the time be able to fight each other and let one account win, and then basically they can let them trade back and forth so they're earning all of these rewards. I mean, to see that screenshot in his video of an account that had wins down their entire board, every match that you could see,
Yeah,
and every win was against somebody playing one mana card, is ridiculous. And Stock Jockey, if you've only had one account here, you've been here since the beginning, I hope you're on board with the fact that win trading is super against the rules. And you shouldn't be allowed to do it because the idea that these guys are winning these games because they figured out a way to have their bots fight each other and then they only play one card. Could you imagine if you could make it so your low level accounts could fight a Chaos Agent every single game and that's all they had to beat? That's all you had to beat. Just Chaos Agent. You could do that with anything you could put onto the board. So now the Tails, thought works. You can rent out champion cards. You can play them for about 4 to 5 seasons. Get yourself some level 2 to level 3 soulbound cards. Put them into the win trading farm, and they will farm you silver rewards forevermore because they're win trading. And that is broken, and it will hurt the game immensely. So the team better address this on Thursday. I do feel bad that Tails' video is very salty. I was very salty on Splinterlands TV, and I heard some people in the Splinterlands team reached out to him about that video, and they gave him some crap. And I didn't like that because this is obviously something they missed, and they shouldn't be giving him, in my mind,
I
crap
missed,
about that.
I missed the whole drama. Damn it!
Yeah, yeah, he talked about that on his I don't remember where we talked about that. I might have been on Discord, but no, he was somewhere else. It was somewhere, and he said that basically he didn't say who, but he said some people reached out to him and said that that video was a little too aggressive. But it's such a major problem. And I understand the
I
idea that
agree.
bot farms don't need win trading, but win trading is what makes it broken. If you have two bots and you're fighting against each other, two accounts fighting against each other, and they both submit real teams, then it's down to the RNG, and one account wins and one account loses. But when you can win trade, the issue here is you can take an account and you can have it win a whole bunch of games in a row. So it's getting massive rating bonuses because it's
Yeah,
on a crazy win streak. And it gets you into earning tons of extra RP. So you earn a ton of chests. That is why it is broken. If you have your bots and you fight each other and it's a legit match, no one's going to win 30, 40 matches in a row. They're just not.
and
The
that means
RNG is going to mix it up.
if you have 100 bots, maybe 30, 40, 50 of them can do the same thing. Have all wins, and you get that many chests. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, it's not good to
it's
hear
ridiculous.
that Dev said it wasn't a big issue. I know that, Tails is a bigger YouTuber. I'm not really one of the bigger YouTubers anymore, but I'm very against this,
I'll
and I
get you
will
there, man.
keep
Don't worry.
making stuff calling out the team if they're not going to fix this because it's not incentivizing us to play the game anymore. A lot of these issues are incentivizing you to bot the game. Or you can be like Stock Jockey who says he's just going to go play the land game. But, if only bots are playing the game, Stock Jockey, I don't know what we're going to sell the stuff we make in the land game, too. Because bot accounts don't need to buy items and sells if they could just win trade with each other, right? They don't need to buy anything. they just need to leach as much out as they can. And
Well, I don't think it won't be addressed. And even if he was talked to from somebody, after, initially the bot, the general bot problem was ignored for so long, and then somebody came with the data and they were like, oh, we didn't know that it's that bad. So maybe it's similar situation where they think that just he's making content for the sake of making content. But if they realize actually how bad it is, maybe it will be something. Plus, I remember it was talked before that they have ways of detecting when two accounts are win trading, and if that happens, they have an algorithm that don't match them together anymore. What happened with that?
yeah, they said that they could prevent this in the past. And I'm really glad somebody dug into it and proved that it's happening because I know it's not something they want to happen. I'm hoping maybe that dev, when he says it's not a big issue, is because maybe they have a way to solve it. And that's why it's not a big issue, but we'll find out on Thursday. Thanks everybody who's hanging out with us today. I did see we got up to 32 viewers at one point, and we had 10 viewers here with us right now. Sorry, today's show is going to be a little bit shorter, but it's the 4th of July tomorrow. We have a holiday, and I have in-laws who are supposed to be going to sleep in my office I'm in right now, so I have to get out of here. Do you want to go ahead and
Yeah,
say goodbye to everyone?
thanks guys for being around, and see you next Monday.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.